Hey, everybody. So it's great to be here in Germany. Frederic, I got to tell you, Germany is a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. We found out last night. Huh?
Yeah, so I heard this morning that while Frederic and I got back at 1 a.m.-ish, other people in our crew got back at 3 a.m., eating a burger and going to a karaoke. So we missed out on a lot of good times.
Yeah, but I'm sure that wasn't, the latest. I guess there was a lot of more people that came in even later.
I want to prove to you that Germany is a lot of fun. By raise of hand, who came home yesterday after midnight?
We saw more.
Yeah, and after 2 a.m.? Who had a burger? No, that's... all right, so we're here to talk about online marketing and not burgers. So before we start, Frederic, would you be so kind to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Frederic. I'm from the Stroeer content group. That's the business division of Stroeer that's handling all the owned content and e-commerce assets. And I'm overseeing the publishing part that comprises websites like T-Online or special interest portals as Giga or Tech and Lifestyle Infotainment Portal or Kino.de, the largest cinema website in Germany, and our social media activities. We have a large influencer marketing agency, Tube1, and a social publisher, FaceAdNet, that has some 50 million Facebook fans where we're publishing content. So it's a large variety from general content to social media.
So just by way of quick introduction, my name is Singolda. I'm founder and CEO at a company called Taboola. We celebrated 10 years last week since I started. That's why my white hair.
Congratulations.
And you've seen us before when you read news around many, many websites. At the bottom, it says you may also like, recommending you more stuff. That's us. So I want to start the conversation by asking you, Frederic, you work for a leading media company. As you're thinking about the challenges publishers face, what are the things that you think are challenges, and what advice can you give to people here to deal with them?
What are the challenges? Well, what we see in the first place is a diversification of our traffic, which is good. So in former days, we only had direct traffic. People come to a website. Then a lot of traffic comes from search, and now we see a lot of traffic comes from social also, taken up, depending on the content, maybe 5 or 10%, up to 90% of the traffic. So that's good.
90%?
Yeah, depending on the topic. If we have very social topics and offerings and content brands, they totally are on third-party platforms. And the challenge we see is, as traffic is becoming almost a commodity with Google and Facebook leveraging the ever-growing long and mid-tail, so traffic only is not the single thing you have to do as a publisher, but what we don't see is that the money goes the same way. So monetization of mobile traffic, of social traffic, is probably one of the big challenges we're seeing from a business perspective.
So tell me more about social specifically. I think that for a long time, we used to measure our business by uniques, right? So like if you work in any publisher company, your boss would ask you how many unique users we have on a monthly basis. Social was great because it gave us more people. But then recently, we found out that one, the algorithm may change, and suddenly the uniques are not coming anymore. And two, we may not make enough money. So how do you feel about this social thing? What's your thought about that?
Well, as I said, first of all, it's great, because it's a new source of traffic. And of course, the people are going there, and we need to go, that's not a news, we need to go where our users are. So in the first place, that is great, because we are seeing a lot of more traffic. But on the other hand, it forces us to think about the monetization. When we're on our own website, on our desktop or mobile, and our display advertising, our marketer Stroeer Digital Group is doing a great job for us. But when we're on a third-party platform, we see that we have a lot of traffic, we have a lot of users, but we don't know them. We kind of lose contact to them. They're not our direct customers. We don't have the data. We can't monetize them. So that's a challenge. We need to find new ways to leverage and to monetize that new traffic.
How big is Instant Article in Germany?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Well, we need the Facebook representative. Okay, I completely share your thoughts. I'm a bit scared for a future that is all social. I know that everything will be sucked into a social feed. I think that I'm also curious. So again, by a raise of hand, I'm not sure how big it is in Germany, so I'm curious. who in the past 7 days clicked on a Facebook instant article and they read the news within Facebook? And keep your hand up if you remember which publisher it was. So to me, that's sort of the bigger risk, is that I don't think we understand the difference between the New York Times to a small blog when we're in Facebook. It looks kind of the same. So I think there is a brand dilution over time for consumers, and I think that's a bigger risk for losing relationship with consumers, even more than not making enough money. So that's why, to me, I'm a bit concerned about that, and we're devoted to help save journalism from bigger social companies. So switching to more optimistic area, as you're thinking about big and exciting opportunities for publishers, what's on your mind?
Well, same thing as the challenges is our opportunities. So if we have new traffic and we're able to address more people in different places and in different situations of their daily life, that gives us new opportunities to present them content in a new way, in a new form. We all know video is becoming more and more important, so we're all producing more and more video content over our news content and our articles. We have new ways of doing advertising and doing monetization. The whole native advertising sphere is a very interesting topic with different subsequence and sub-products in this native advertising field, whether it be advertorials, whether it be influencer marketing from A-list to microbloggers, whether it be video production. So there's a whole lot of opportunities as well to use this traffic that we get on social platforms.
Is native real? Can a publisher make enough money by just writing branded content?
We couldn't. I mean, we're seeing a lot of publishing assets throughout the world, in Germany, in the US, that have tremendous reach. If you compare that to businesses from the traditional desktop and mobile world, they're making tiny money. So we wouldn't be able to sustain on native advertising alone.
Do you have an idea what needs to evolve there so native can become something that can be a bigger part of the business for publishers? Besides working with Taboola, I mean, that's not... Like,
maybe there's someone having a product. No, actually, often native advertising products are great fun. You know, we're making an advertorial, we're doing cross-campaign projects. We have clients that are really looking into social, into engagement topics. But all of these products have one thing in common: they're hard to scale. It always needs a project management, it always needs a concept, it always needs people actually doing it. So it's a lot of work. And so that's the challenge, that we cannot really scale this kind of business. And that's why we're relying on scalable solutions.
And I think one area that publishers were avoiding maybe in the past, but it could be an interesting place for them to invest in, is making native something that has ROI around it. So if you wrote and I see it all the time, we have publishers that wrote an article about T-shirts, and suddenly they become T-shirt sellers. They sell more T-shirts through this article because people read it, and they say, well, that's a great product, and they go to the advertiser page and buy it. So I'm always thinking if publishers can bundle content with some sort of performance, they can really scale it. Because people really, what's amazing about publishers and journalism is that it carries a lot of weight. People really care about what you say, and they trust you, which, you know, I think that's what's unique to publishers. So if there's a way to get there, I always feel like native could become scalable.
Absolutely, that's another opportunity. If you have that reach, and then you're talking about e-commerce, that's another way that you could use your traffic. Whether it be actually doing e-commerce on your own, producing, selling your own goods, or whether it be affiliation business, where you find complementary fitting products that align to your context and to your content. That is a very interesting thing. For example, we have this, I mentioned Giga.de, that's our tech and infotainment platform. And we realized, looking through our partners, or affiliation partner, there was this one partner who was selling smartphone display repair kits. And he suddenly became one of our largest affiliate partners. So we looked into that company, ended up buying it, because it was a good fit. We were addressing mobile users with mobile topics on Giga Apple, on Giga Android, and they were prone to clicking on smartphone handy repair, mobile repair kits. And that is it's a niche product where we can actually leverage our e-commerce traffic, or publishing traffic, to an e-commerce site. So that's a natural fit. We don't have this everywhere, but that's a good example.
Now that's a great example. And you also mentioned video. So what is the future of video? Is it going to be pre-rolls like it is in TV? Is it going to be outstream, those mid-article pop-ups? Is it going to be sliders and things that come from the side or something else? What do you think about video? Is it real, and how do you think it's going to scale?
Well, it's no news that video is important to all publishers. And we have a very diverse content assets. It's something different on a news article on T-Online, or on Kino.de, a cinema trailer, or on our social portals where we have viral content. We've set up our own video production unit, and we're putting out about 50 videos a day throughout all these publishing assets, from news videos to evergreen videos to social videos. And from my opinion, we'll probably have to look at every article we're publishing in the future has a video, basically on top.
Every page view. Every page should have a video on it in the future.
Why not?
And you think videos are mainly for advertisers? Are they mainly top of the funnel awareness? Here's a new car, get to know it? Or do you think it's also going to be performance? Because I do think when you look at the videos I see on Facebook, I see game videos, which make me want to download the app, download the game, and play it. So I think that's a great thing because it means that they can scale a video, which will be a great thing for us as publishers if video can really scale and not only stay as a top of the funnel vehicle. What do you think about that?
Good question. Maybe that's a question our marketer, Stroeer Digital Group, can answer better. Of course, today, the standard is that we're selling video inventory on pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll on a CPM basis. So if you're, I don't know if I got you right, but if you're mentioning why wouldn't we try to sell it on a performance basis, I'm not sure. Because right now we see there's a lot of demand in the advertising world for video advertising. And that's the one point where we still are building up inventory and it matches our advertising demand. But sure, if you go, for example, to social, why not try it over there? But that's really a sales question, I guess.
So data and personalization. I feel that every person I know in the past 10 years spoke about how important it is to do personalization. Data is important. I think it's a little bit bullshit, at least up until now. I've never seen anyone do anything with it. People have data. I don't see them doing anything with it. Everything looks the same. Do you think personalization will be big in the future? Or will it stay something we keep talking about, but we do nothing with it?
I'm not sure. We have tons of data that we do not use in our publishing assets. Our content management system doesn't know how to handle the data. None of our content management systems. I don't believe that personalization, in the definition of the word, that someone comes to a website and decides what he wants to consume, what he likes, that's nothing that's going to work. Facebook is doing the opposite. It's automatically deciding what you want to see. And I would say it's somewhere in between, and maybe the word personalization is kind of misleading us here. The way we talk about it right now is rather segmentation. So if I know there's a user coming to my website from a direct type-in, and he's prone to stay on the website for another 4, 5, 6, 7 articles, impressions, getting engaged with the content, sharing it. That's one segment. Maybe I have another segment, someone who comes from search. He has a certain need. He finds our article, he gets to our website, the need is fulfilled, and he's gone. He's unlikely to make more than 1 or 2 impressions in his visit because his need is fulfilled. So maybe I want to present different content to these different segments and different ads as well. If I know he's not going to stay anyway, maybe I will find ads that are compelling to him. If I know he's going to stay, he's going to likely to click a video gallery, a video or an image gallery, I might want to, present him different content. And if that is something we can originally integrate in our publishing content management systems, that is something we are definitely looking into. So we'd rather call it segmentation than personalization.
No, I completely agree. I think it's less about what article I'm seeing per se, but it's more about how can the entire site change. So if I'm a video fan, your site should look like YouTube when I come to your site. And if I have a tendency to sign up to things, you should give me newsletters, so I sign up to your email newsletter. So I think the design, I see it as the web should be split into 5 versions. So one version for video people, one version for search people, one version for different people, versus necessarily go for which articles do I see on the homepage, which I think is how traditionally we thought about it. We have only a few minutes left, so I'm going into my bonus questions. So bonus question number 1. When you hire people, what skill set are you looking at? What do you think is important in a media person when you hire folks?
We're in a fast-changing industry, right? So probably you're not able to hire people that know everything that you're doing today, and they certainly can't know what we are doing tomorrow. So something that they need to be able is people that we are working with and that we're hiring in our teams, they need to be flexible. They need to adapt to the changing world. So if users are going there, if the traffic is going there, if the technology is giving us this opportunity, people need to be able to adapt. So maybe that's one of the main things we're looking in people. Are they able to be flexible, to adapt, and do they have a common understanding of the ecosystem? Not in a specific way, because we don't know what's going to be, the hot thing next year or in 2 years anyhow.
All right, remember that. It was said here on this stage. Second bonus question is more of 5 years outlook. When you look into the future, if you can give people advice here, what do you think that future is going to look like? Do you think, from a publisher perspective, from an advertiser perspective, when you look at 5 years ahead, how is that going to look like, and what should we do maybe today to be better prepared for it?
Oh, always an interesting question. Well, first of all, we don't know. We simply don't know. What I think what we're going to see in the publishing sector is another consolidation, which is, from a business perspective, might be a good thing, because the ever-growing long and mid-tail content, probably there is simply not enough money in the market to have a sustainable business for everyone. So consolidation is probably one thing we're going to see in the next 1 or 2 years already in the publishing market. But from a society perspective, I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because we want to have diversity in publishing, in journalism, in content discovery and in content distribution. That's one thing the internet is supposed to give a society, a whole broad range of opinion and journalism. But if we can't live of journalism because we are not seeing, we as publishers are not seeing the money, because it goes somewhere else, it goes to platforms. Actually, Facebook is a media house. They're seeing the money. They're saying they're a tech company. They are not. You said instant articles. They are having our content, but we're not seeing the money. So that's probably one thing we're going to see, a consolidation. And then I'm going to see, let's be a little bit more positive, I'm sure we're going to see very interesting new products in the social world. There's products like Amazon Alexa. We're going to see text-to-speech things. That's a very thrilling thing. Is that maybe a new way of consuming content and articles? I don't know, but absolutely thrilling. Google Home is coming next year, so there's probably going to be a lot of things we're going to see when the internet is breaking out into media, into new media, and into new forms of consumption. One thing that we're, especially at Stroeer, very thrilled about is we have this outside digital architecture. There's screens on the streets. There's screens on train stations, on public transportation. We call this public video. That's an extremely interesting infrastructure. We have over 3,500 screens on the streets and on train stations and shopping centers. And what we can do today is we can serve our content not only on the website, on mobile, on social, but we can also serve it on this public video displays. And that's something that's a very great combination. So if an editor writes a news at T-Online, we publish it on the website, on the mobile, on the app, on social, but we also publish it outside on the street. And that's great. That's a really great product we're looking into focusing on in the very next future.
All right, I'm excited. I want to thank Frederic. He's a friend, he's a great guy, and I think he's the type of executive this publisher industry needs to keep innovating in the next 5 years. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Frederic.